Assalomu alaykum. Xo'p bo'ladi. Xijolat bo'lmang, hammasi joyida.
Ishlaringiz qanday?
The recent visit to the New York My President with
My president?
My President.
Absolutely.
Even the radio Ozodlik used the word historic. Kissinger or Brzezinski?
I don't know. I'm not going to pick.
Sherali Jo'rayev or Botir Zokirov?
I know Zakirov more. Older. The dance song.
The traffic jams in Tashkent.
I'm from New York.
Eating plov from the morning for you.
Difficult in the morning because usually, personally, I don't even eat breakfast.
What is the question you will give to the young...
To young people.
No, to young Henick.
And you're doing a fantastic job.
Safar, what do you call home today?
Mr. Ambassador, thank you for doing this. Please let me to understand you like concept of the podcast. This podcast is dedicated to the people who leave their country and come to live Uzbekistan. For a year, they make Uzbekistan home. And they are diplomats, engineers, designers, teachers and doctors, and they are different. As you said for your one interview, life is journey. You need to live like this. At the end, you need to be happy from yourself. And Safar is in English, journey. And you came to Uzbekistan, and it's your Safar.Uzbekistan. You are on the Safar. This new series of podcasts and exclusive, and first my guest is you. It's a really honor. Go for it.
Very good. It's a pleasure to be here and happy to talk about my journey. And in a sense, it's very special for me because my professional journey started in Uzbekistan over 30 years ago. When I was a young diplomat, I was assigned here to the U.S. Embassy in Tashkent.
There will be a little bit philosophical questions and cultural. Of course, policy will be too, but they are important. But unique is that culture, language, food, and what is Uzbekistan or Uzbeks from your perspective, which is really unique. But it's hard not to start from the recent visit to the New York My President to United Nations Assembly, and he met with
My president?
My President.
Very good, yeah.
He met with President Donald Trump. He met with Sergio Gore, who born in Uzbekistan, and who told he can call to the White House anytime he want, and sign it more than $8 billion assignment. And all over this, what do you think about outcomes?
So I think it's been a historic visit to New York.
You think it's historic?
Absolutely.
Because me too, as a diplomat, tend to be to my words carefully. Even the radio Ozodlik use the word historic. Therefore,
Well, it's clear. President Trump and President Mirziyoyev met years ago at the White House in Washington, and that was, of course, a very historic meeting as well. But this is only the second time that they've met. And I have to say that this time, I think the relations between the United States and Uzbekistan are even better than they were back in 2018. They're better than they have ever been. And so, your president's trip to New York, the meetings with all the American businessmen, the meetings with President Trump, with Special Envoy Gore, also the meetings with the Uzbek diaspora living in the United States. And they're forming a very important part of American society and a cultural bridge between our countries. And so I think it's been absolutely a historic visit to the U.S., and I look forward in the coming months and the coming years to really executing on the vision that President Mirziyoyev and President Trump have and making our relations even stronger.
It was hard to organize a meeting with Donald Trump because I know it's a very big responsibility for our diplomats too, and to yours diplomacy, to you also. How was the process?
So you're absolutely correct. President Trump was only in New York for a very limited amount of time and only had a few meetings, in
Yes.
addition to, of course, the speech he gave at the UN General Assembly. And so, it was, I think, a big deal for him to take the time to meet with President Mirziyoyev. I think it was made possible because we've been working very hard over the last few years to bring our countries closer together.
Yeah.
We've had excellent cooperation on a number of issues, including commercial and economic issues.
Yes.
And your government, your president deserves, I think, a lot of credit for the economic reforms that have happened in here in Uzbekistan that have created, I think, attractive opportunities for American businesses to come and do business and trade and invest in Uzbekistan. And I think this meeting happened as a result of all of that we had more and more American businesses interested here. You mentioned the deal, the Boeing deal with Uzbekistan Airways. And President Trump, remember, he's a businessman. And that's the kind of language that speaks to him. And I think because he's a businessman, because he's very results-oriented, like your president, I think they saw, an opportunity to connect again, and by meeting, to help give another impetus to our relationship going forward.
Come back to you if I'm also a young diplomat, and it's interesting, a personal question from me. What was your first reaction when you heard about that you are a candidate for ambassadorship to Uzbekistan? Can you remember even years past?
Yes, I was ecstatic, very, very happy. So this was the one country in the world where I wanted to be ambassador. And so when I was informed that I had been selected for this position, I was, you say in English, I was over the moon.
Okay, who was the most happiest people in your family members who was really happy to come to Uzbekistan?
I think I probably was the happiest.
You were.
I was the only one in my family who had been to Uzbekistan before. So for my wife and my kids, they only came to Uzbekistan after I was assigned here as ambassador.
You
But
came with.
I think it's safe to say that they have grown to love Uzbekistan as well.
They are starting to love Uzbekistan,
absolutely.
foods, music, culture.
Yeah.
They have friends there.
So my kids, unfortunately, are older. So they're both at university. So they never had an opportunity to live here. They've only visited, during the summer or winter breaks.
Yes, yes.
But my wife lives here and has more friends than I do.
Women's like this.
Yeah.
We will find more friends.
Yeah.
Stereotypes. Before you come to Uzbekistan, what stereotypes you had, you was wrong, and which is, yes, it's thick.
Yeah. So before I came to Uzbekistan the first time, I think I encountered a lot of misimpressions, misunderstandings about Uzbekistan. First, about even where the country is. Americans, I have to say, I'm embarrassed to admit that Americans are not very good at geography.
Okay.
And so when oftentimes, early, 30 years ago, if I mentioned that I was going to Uzbekistan, they go, "Oh, Pakistan."
Pakistan, right.
They hear Stan, but they don't know. At that time they didn't know about the countries of Central Asia, and so and then even now that I think many Americans have heard of Uzbekistan, they don't know much about it, and so they think it's like, oh, part of Russia, it must be like Siberia, it's very cold, or they think, oh, it's it's like next to Afghanistan, it must be all desert. So Americans, I think, until they have the opportunity to come here, until they have the opportunity to learn about Uzbekistan, they really don't have, I think, a clear picture. But that's changing now. It's changing because I think Uzbekistan is attracting more and more tourists. I think the sites like in Samarkand and Bukhara are appearing on the travel magazines and in the United States and London, and so now people are beginning to associate Uzbekistan with with its history, with the culture here, and it's exciting to see that develop so quickly.
Okay, you count one.
Count one what?
Count one stereotype, like you didn't know
Other
that geography,
stereotypes.
and the next two.
I don't think people had specific stereotypes. It was more just a lack of knowledge. They didn't know what to expect. And so it's not until Americans come here that they realize not only about the history of, Amir Timur and the Silk Road, but it's only when they come here do they realize that, for example, that the Uzbek language, is a Turkic language, that it's different than Russian, completely different.
Yes.
And they realize that the Uzbek people are, most of them, the majority, are Turkic people. And then, of course, if they stay here long enough, they learn that it's not just, Uzbeks, that we have many, many different ethnicities here in Uzbekistan.
Your Uzbek language is so well.
Oh,
I watched a video in Charsu Bazaar, or where you burgeoning with the Dolrashkam. You said like this.
Yeah.
Dolrashkam. You said like this. And English is another world. Uzbek language, another world. And how you can talk without accent in my language?
I think as Uzbeks say, til bilgan el bilade.
Right.
And so for a diplomat, it's very important to learn as many languages as you can. It helps you professionally. And so I had the opportunity to learn Russian early in my career. Later I learned Turkish and then Azerbaijani. And the Turkish language and the Azerbaijani language, as you know, I think help you if you're trying to learn Uzbek. There are some similarities. And so I've been able to use my knowledge of Turkish to try to become proficient in Uzbek. But thank you. My Uzbek is still very basic, but it's something I continue to work on.
It was your first video where you said, I came back to Uzbekistan and sizlar bilan Uzbekistonni safar qilamiz, you said. And Safar podcast, they are so matched. I said, this is a signal.
Okay, that I should be one of your guests on this show.
Yes,
Safar is also the same word in Turkish.
How many proverbs you know in Uzbek language?
One I like is Yolgiz daraht orman bilmaz. So, because that I think is a very it's an interesting expression which says, we have to work together, which again is another, I think, good metaphor
Yes,
for diplomacy.
teamwork. Which phrases you have had so many times, even you, automatically you're remembering? For example, for me, it's Assalamu alaikum, hob bo'ladi, xijolat bo'lmang, hammasi joyida.
İşlaringiz qanday?
Ishlaringiz qanday? Tuzumisiz?
O'ylangiz?
Bola chaqalar hammasi yaxshimi? What like this? Or, for example, me learning the phrase hob bo'ladi at the work, not at the home. My mom can't teach me to do this word, hob bo'ladi. But at work, they teach me.
They never say hope at work. It's always like on the streets or at home. Yeah.
And the word labbai. Because,
Labbai?
yes, at the work calls me, we talk the call and labbai, okay. And we put. And this kind of phrases, if you have.
Now I hear Uzbeks saying okay, though, too.
Okay.
Say, okay.
Is it labbai?
Yeah, but they say okay. They don't even say labbai. They say okay.
Yes. And what kind of phrases you most?
Oh, I think you've mentioned many of them. Like when people are saying, I like the phrases I like in Uzbek or any foreign language are the ones that don't translate into English. Like what do you say in Uzbek if somebody is a worker is working hard? You say what? Hormang? Maybe I'm getting it wrong, but the idea of I'm not sure if it's exactly the same in Uzbek or Turkish. For example, if somebody gets sick. And in English we say get well, I hope you feel better. But in Turkish, I think maybe in Uzbek you say the same. You say, geçmiş olsun. So like let it pass.
Turkish.
So you have that in Uzbek as well?
Shfa topib keting, tuzalib keting. Sog bo'ling.
Sog bo'ling. It's a beautiful language. It's interesting to see it developing as well.
And we have a phrase if you had, I guess you don't had altavogum, bertavogum, don't you had?
I don't know that one.
Or are you a little bit understanding the meaning?
Say it again.
Altavogum, bertavogum.
Okay. How would you translate?
I guess you never had.
No.
Because it's a proverb, but not every day. We use it. It means in Uzbek have very, very unique tradition, everyday life. I will give to you food in a dish. I will give you, and till the 3 or 4 day, this dish and food will come back me by you.
It's about hospitality.
How was your neighbors in your mahalla?
I have some very, I think, wealthy neighbors. I live in probably one of the more expensive parts of, Tashkent. So I don't get to know them all personally. I know a couple of my neighbors because I've met them separately. But it's I feel that maybe I'm missing the traditional like Uzbek mahalla where people do know all of their neighbors. I think there are guards in front of my house, so no, generally not.
They're afraid to go there.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. What was that situation when you feel, yes, I'm really at home, even for a moment?
Honestly, I felt at home almost from day one here. I'll say it in Uzbek. Uzbekistan'da shunday mehmon dostlik, mehr bilan kutip olishdik ki u ham oz uyumdek bo'ladi.
I understand you and the second reason is your family with you.
Exactly.
Yes, family.
Home is where the family is.
Let's start blitz questions, okay? I need to open my list. I had a certain list.
Is that the new iPhone you have?
No, it's owner. Well, yeah, it looks like a phone. Elementary is green tea or black tea?
I prefer green tea.
Okay. Is the future about people or technology?
The future. I think it's always about people. Technology is important, but society is about people.
Kissinger or Brzezinski?
I don't know. I'm not going to pick. They're both, very, I think, influential foreign policy figures in my history.
You're free to choose.
I never thought about it. I wouldn't even know how to choose.
Okay. Dog or cat?
Dog or cat? I'm a dog person.
Okay. Sherali Joraev or Batr Zakirov?
I know Zakirov more,
Okay.
so maybe Zakirov then.
For a time, you will be music critic, and you will give from 1 to 10 to our music, okay?
To the music.
Yes.
Okay.
Yoksan canım yoksan dildor sözler bahar Gözüm intizar ne bir
I have to give it 1 to 10.
Yes. Which you likes?
It's mellow. I like a little bit faster beat. I'll give it a 7.
It will be fast.
Oh, it gets faster.
Yeah, it will be fast. A slap.
Senge yüz var
All right, I'll give it an 8.
8, okay. Next.
Dünyada gördüm güzel şehirler Güzel yurtlar Men üçün senden çıraylı
Who's this?
Rashid Khalikov. Aziz Yurtum.
Aziz Dostum.
Aziz Yurtum.
7.
Okay.
Older.
Sherali Joraev.
I give this a 7 as well.
Next. It's not all.
A dance song.
Did you hear it?
It sounds familiar. I think I've heard this one. Who's the singer? Who's the singer?
Hamdam Sabir.
I like it. Nice. I'll give that an 8 as well.
Okay, 8. I got my scores all. This is finished.
Safar, what do you call home today?
The traffic jams in Tashkent after coming work.
Yes. So mostly I travel by car, although you may have seen occasionally I do ride the metro. But so yeah, when traveling by car, we off Tashkent, traffic can get very, very difficult sometimes.
Yes, and
But I'm used to that. It's I'm from New York. I lived in Istanbul. These are cities also with difficult traffic. So but Tashkent's it's getting bigger. The city's growing. I think it's going to be one of the challenges is going to be developing the infrastructure to keep up with the number of vehicles.
do you had a chance to attend Uzbek weddings?
I won't name the people, but I've been invited to a few weddings. I went both to the morning osh a few times.
Nahorgi osh, yes.
Yeah. And then also in the evening to the wedding celebrations. It's very big, lavish weddings.
Basic maximum.
Yes, lots of singing, performances, lots of dancing, lots of food.
And how was your impression from that? Because in America, not like this.
I think
wedding.
America, we have a little more modest weddings, although some Americans have big weddings as well. So, but no, I think it's nice. It's always nice to be at a wedding. People are celebrating their love. Planning their lives together, families coming together. I like it.
And how was the eating plov from the morning for you?
Difficult in the morning because usually, personally, I don't even eat breakfast. I know some people say breakfast is the most important meal. I tend to, I eat usually later in the day. So to have a big, osh in the morning.
It was so hard.
lot.
It's so hard. to eat. How there are chances to live in Uzbekistan for vegetarians? I mean,
On the one hand, I think it should be easy because there's such amazing fruits and vegetables here in Uzbekistan. On the other hand, I think the local cuisine, they haven't developed a lot of vegetarian-style dishes. So I think you can live here as a vegetarian, but you have to be, persistent and creative.
what do you call home today?
So I've been a diplomat for over 30 years, and which means I've had to, as you know, move from country to country. And so for me, I think as we were saying before, for me, home is where my family is.
Right.
And that's been wherever my wife has been with me or my kids. Now it's more difficult. I think as a parent now, what we could say in English, we call an empty nester. Empty nest, which means like the baby birds have flown away. So my two children are now, at university in the United States. And so we have,
You miss him.
the home feels a little more empty and we miss our kids. I talk to them almost every day, yeah,
Home is family, your answer is.
of course.
Okay. Actually, you can also give questions to me because it's podcast, not interview.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. You said that you started your career as a diplomat.
Yes.
So are you going to continue to work as a diplomat or have you moved on to other things?
No, I'm going to continue.
That's a part of diplomacy is working with media, communication.
Yes, I saw that.
So tell me about your outfit. Did you buy it at a store? Did you do it yourself?
Women are supporting just my image in this podcast, beautiful. And this is a brand Mora Bolsun. It means, how it called
Bolsun?
in English? Mubarak Bolsun.
Well, this means congratulations.
Yeah, actually, yes, buyursun, like this. And there's written like this, Uzbek product, which is,
It's nice. I like how there are so many fashion designers now who are taking some of the Uzbek materials and some of the traditional kind of garb and making it more modern
what is the question you will give to the young,
to young
Henick.
people.
No, to young Henick, to young Jonathan Henick.
Oh, what would I ask a young Jonathan Henick? I think if I think back to when I was maybe your age, I would say, relax, don't worry. I think young people tend to, be nervous, lack confidence, but I think they don't know, like what's going to happen, and you can't know what's going to happen. But no matter what happens, things work out fine.
I'm not going to finish. Mr. Jonathan Henick, thank you for coming. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for supporting my first podcast. And I wish you will come again and I will give different questions.
Excellent. It's been my pleasure. I wish you very well with the podcast. I'm sure it'll be a huge success, and you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you. Rahmat. Yana kutaman sizin. Okay?
Katta rahmat.
What do you call home today?
Great. Thank you so much.